Yeah.
All right. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Joe Kochenour, and we're here with More York. Glad you guys could check us out, and hopefully, if you do have some interest in coming to a meeting or following us on the Facebook page and our website, that'd be great. But again, I am actually a regional vice president with Primerica Financial Services. And one thing that really want to talk about today and discuss about would be more just maybe a mindset about money and finances, and really just kind of maybe answer some of your questions or maybe ask questions to kind of make people think about money a little bit differently and some different concepts. But big thing that we talk about when we sit down with clients and different groups of people are that growing up, and I'll kind of include my story a little bit as well, is that we aren't really taught about money and how to manage money and how to go about the hurdles or the scenarios we might face in life, because unfortunately we're young kids and we aren't exposed to different situations, and all of a sudden we graduate high school and then we're thrown into college and we have a family and we have different things that kind of come up real fast, but then how to navigate that as we go through our different periods of life. So saying that we, like I said at the beginning, was most people don't plan to fail, they just fail to plan when it comes to their finances and other things in their life. But real quick, my story is I graduated college with a business degree and I was 22 years old, and my life kind of then got bumped into fourth gear pretty quickly, and I always wanted to have a child by the age of 25, and I was like, I wanted, I don't know, it's just something I wanted to have early on. And I met my wife, and 22 years old, got engaged, married at 23, had our first child by 25. But kind of what I love teaching people is we didn't have a plan. We never had met with a financial advisor. We never had anybody come and talk to us about money, because again, I went to a local high school. We never had a class on personal finances. We had our check balancing, our check register, maybe a few other financial concepts, but nothing about credit cards, nothing about insurances and saving for retirement or even personal savings. So we actually had someone come over to our house, and I was again 23 at the time, and we had a gentleman come over and talk to us about life insurance. Okay, so it was something I knew we needed. My parents were very strong in pushing us towards life insurance and said you should probably have something. And now that I've been exposed to what I know, we got really taken advantage of in regards to the sales approach that we were offered. The gentleman sat down and said, we need life insurance, and all of a sudden it's going to be, hey, what's it going to cost per month? And he spat out a number of $550 a month of life insurance coverage for my wife and I, 23 years old, healthy, no history of health concerns. And luckily it was that high, because we ended up not going with him. It was really a price tag that was too much. But then we were also able to hook up with then another gentleman who helped save us on the path for retirement, and then life insurance at affordable price. So that was my scenario. Again, coming out of college, degree, not sure where to go. Now all of a sudden I'm getting married, having a child. We're glad we got both exposures. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people don't ever take those steps to even have someone come in their house and have them talk about finances and insurance and some different areas that maybe they have questions on, or their parents are pushing them to do, or they're later in life and say, hey, maybe I want to retire now. Is now a good time? So what ended up happening was I found a company, like I said, Primerica Financial, offered me or allowed me to get licensed and go out and help families based on the needs or the questions that they have. And I think one of the neatest things about what I get to do and teach people is really just answer the questions or the concepts that are so basic when they hear them, but it's more of like an aha moment when they hear it and they're like, wow, like that is something I wish I would have known earlier. I'm glad I heard it now, and now I can implement. But again, it's not stuff that's going to talk over people's heads. It's not going to be stuff that people are really stressed out about or gonna have to do research on. It's just so basic concepts. But so anyway, I might be talking in circles here, but let me go over a few statistics, and this kind of sums up why there is such a need to sit down with a financial professional and for someone that can answer your questions. A couple statistics that maybe some people that fall in these categories. 2/3 of U.S. The U.S. live paycheck to paycheck. So maybe you know someone that they literally cannot wait till their paycheck, or they are going to have to pay someone back next Friday, or the Friday the pay period. Whenever their pay period hits, they can finally get something. So 2/3 of Americans are falling in that boat. Credit card debt is a crisis right now. 16,000 is the average credit card. So again, that's the middle. I mean, there's obviously lower. There's a lot of people don't have, or there's some people don't have any. But I've seen $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 just on credit cards. Half Americans could not pay for a $400 emergency. So if a emergency came up, $400 or more, they would not be able to use their own personal money. They would have to go back to the credit card. Bankruptcies still they're an all-time high. It's the easy out. I'm going to go and unfortunately get over my head, or a life event happened, I'm just going to declare bankruptcy. 1 in 4 have no life insurance, families. And if they do have life insurance, they might have that $550 a month policy, or they have a policy that just is not right for their family. And then this one is pretty staggering. Half of all U.S. workers have less than $25,000 saved in their retirement. So that the concept of pensions and living the golden years and not working, unfortunately, is dwindling, because the education is not there, and a lot of people have never taken the time to talk about money and how to go about doing it properly, that is going to allow them to live the life they want. So as I mentioned, that statement, most people don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. The most reasons why we see that, or the reasons why we see people not sitting down with financial professionals, is it costs money, right? It might cost a lot of money, or they think it's going to cost a lot of money. Or the other thing is they're like, well, I don't have anything to plan for. So if I have debt, like you guys mentioned, I mentioned, I don't have any savings, how is someone going to be able to help me? And I think that is something that our company turns on its head a little bit. So, we actually will sit down with individuals and help families at zero cost. I mean, there's no fees and no, financial transactions to myself personally. And the other thing is it's more getting a game plan and getting your items on paper. Because writing, it's amazing how people can easily in your mind say it's not that bad, or, it's bad, but, I'll deal with it later in their own mind. But once they actually write it down on paper, it's like an aha moment of, wow, we got to do something, because it's pretty bad and it has got out of control. Whereas we can actually help people get on the right path. So a couple things in regards to debt. Like I said, that staggering number. Again, I mean, a lot of people get a mortgage, they'll go out and buy a house, and they feel they have to be in debt for 30 years. Then about 20 years in, they're like, oh, I need some money. I'm going to refinance again and go back out to a 30-year mortgage. So they're constantly in this debt cycle. They just have never had anybody come over and say, hey, let's get that 30-year mortgage paid off in 20. You know what? Let's do it in 10. Let's do it in 5. Based on the plan we can put together for them. So just little tools like that. Thinking how money, thinking about money a little bit differently can be a game changer for yourself, and really get you started on the right foot. And then really the last thing I'm going to talk about is life insurance side. So that's a huge item that we talk about in our company, and really what our company was founded on, is that there's so many various types of life insurance out there today, and it's pretty crazy to think that some of the companies are offering some of these products, because we really have a product approach, and it's term life insurance. It's the only product we offer, because it's simple and it's basic, but it covers what it's supposed to, and that is in case you do not make it retirement, or you pass away too young, it allows your family to be taken care of properly and without paying a ton of money or an excessive amount of money for that life insurance. So real quick, just in regards to the life insurance side, there's different ones we know really a lot of. You might have a job. It's called group life insurance. You have stuff through your work. Oh, my work gives me $10,000 of life insurance coverage, which is great. We're big proponents of life insurance, group life insurance at work, but unfortunately that number is not usually enough. So think about here in New York, an average house of $150,000. So if you have $10,000 in life insurance, and God forbid something happens to you, your loved ones, maybe your spouse or your children or whoever is relying on your income, gets a $10,000 check. What are they going to do with it? It's not going to do too much, right? It's not going to be able to have them continue to pay the mortgage and do that. So, that's one product. We also have a product out there that a lot of people offer and sell is whole life insurance. Whole life insurance, the concept sounds really good, right? It provides you for your whole life. But that's what that gentleman that I spoke about earlier was trying to offer us. $550 a month for there's $250,000 of coverage on myself and $250,000 on my wife. It's an expensive product, but it really doesn't do what we as our company says it does for people. A lot of people think, well, whole life insurance is great. It has a savings portion and an insurance portion all built in one. You don't need to have an investment portfolio because you have whole life insurance. But again, price-wise, it's very expensive. And let's say $250,000 in my example, is that going to allow me to retire when I got to 65 or 67? Absolutely not. $250,000 would never have gotten me to live the life I want. So that's why we chose term life, and our company really believes in term life insurance. So, it's a basic product in regards to low premium and proper coverage. So, give an example. Let's say you have $1 million policy, and that's going to cover all of the stuff that you would need in regards to paying off mortgage and education costs. For an individual, it's going to be a quarter of the cost of what a whole life insurance product would be, or a universal life or other products that are out there. So, kind of summing this all up, and as I end my talk here, is that, again, sit down. I'm able to help, and that's kind of what I do for my business, is giving people the hope or the opportunity to start and find a starting point. Is say, hey, now I need to get a hold of my debt. I need to get a hold of my savings. I need to get a hold of different concepts. So as we go through life, because we know it's going to go by fast, right? And it has gone by fast to this point, and it will continue to keep going faster. Is let's get a plan together, okay? Let's talk about the insurances. Let's talk about how to get out of debt even faster than what you're scheduled to do. That can really give a peace of mind. So when you go to bed at night, you're like, you know what? I feel good. I feel great about where we're heading. And I really feel that, because that plan is in place, that, you become bulletproof in the sense of thoughts, and you can also become bulletproof in regards to, making sure that you can live the life that you truly deserve. So that's, my talk for today. I appreciate you guys checking us out. Every Thursday morning, we meet here at Leadership Arts, and hopefully we'll see some of you next week or, the next couple months. Thank you again.